Hey, what's going on? My name is Kirby, and I teach people how to create unique brands that help them to stand out in the marketplace. My goal is to teach you how to discover who you are, find your audience, collect data so that you could turn all your content into currency. You are a brand and you deserve to know how to monetize and make money off of your personal brand. So we're going to go over a couple steps that teaches you how to stand out and be dynamic and make you better than all of your competition. In this section, I want to talk about why you need a personal brand. Let's go ahead and get the most important thing out the way, and that's going to be money. Everybody wants to make money simply by being who they are and by having a strong personal brand that is going to help you be able to monetize and just get money in different avenues, whether that be a brand ambassador, whether that is from sponsors from different companies, whether you decide to throw a live show, depending on what type of field you are in, hard ticket sales, having people come out and see you, merchandise. You may have a slogan that you say. People may want to buy a t-shirt from you, a hat, a mug. There are so many different things and different ways that you can monetize by being a personal brand. You don't have to follow anyone else's footsteps because what's going to make you stand out is being unique, being yourself. A lot of people say, I'm not interested enough. I don't think what I'm into, other people are into. Let me tell you something. You are wrong. There is a tribe of people looking for you. There is a tribe of people who want to find someone just like you, but because you're being shy and you're being in your head and you have imposter syndrome, you're thinking that you're not significant enough for people to pay attention to you and, more importantly, pay you. But you are. Everyone is unique. Everyone has something special. And I need you to realize that. Another reason why you should build a personal brand is because, like I said, you want to find a tribe of people just like you. The riches are in the niches. I don't know if you ever heard that term before, but basically, this is about finding something that you are into specifically and niching it down, right? So, for example, let's say you are into health and wellness, you're into exercise. Okay, well, it's a lot of people who are personal trainers. What makes a personal trainer and a person who's in the health and wellness field stand out is by niching down. Niching down. So now let's take it a step further. You're into health and wellness, right? But you want to help women. Okay, that's still pretty broad. Let's niche it down even more. You're in health and wellness and you want to help women over 40 years old who are mothers. Now, do you see how that will help you stand out as opposed to a person who just says, hey, I'm a personal trainer? Okay, that may not catch the interest in everyone, but if you introduce yourself as a personal trainer who helps women over 40 years old who are busy mothers, that's going to help you find your audience quicker as opposed to just putting yourself out there in this broad category. So, what you want to do is find whatever it is that you are into and niche it down as much as possible because, like we said before, the riches are in the niches. So, let's say you're into cooking, right? Okay, everyone has a cooking channel. There are thousands and thousands of YouTube channels that focus on recipes and cooking. But what's going to make you stand out in the marketplace? What makes you different? Okay, I wrote this in my book, 5 ways to build a standout brand. Now, let's say that you are also into comic books, right? We don't really put cooking and comic books together, but that's what's going to help you stand out because it's unique. What makes you unique? I want you to write down all of the things that you are into Write down every hobby and every interest that you have. Even if it's not a hobby yet, but you're thinking about getting into something, write these things down, because what this is going to do, this is going to help you with your brand and help you to figure out ways to stand out. So, like I was saying, say you're into cooking, say you're into comic books, right? Now, say Spider-Man, right? I know I don't watch a lot of Marvel movies, but Spider-Man's pretty big. So you're a cooking channel, but you're also into comic books, right? You make a meal based off of what every comic book character would eat. Do you see how interesting that is now? Instead of saying, hey, I'm going to make this fall dish that you guys can eat once the weather starts to cool down. Instead, you could say, hey, you guys, this is a meal I'm going to prepare if Superman came over my house. If Superman got done fighting the world and he wants to come and eat a meal, this is what I think Superman would eat. Do you know how many people will be interested in something like that? Because it's different. No one cares what your grandmother wants to eat. No one cares what your kids will eat, because we all have kids and we all have grandmothers and stuff. But if you were to say, this is what I want to cook for Spider-Man, now do you see how interesting that is? Because you made yourself stand apart by that unique thing of you also being into comic books. So never think that the things that you're into aren't interesting, because there's always a tribe of people out there willing and wanting to find you. They just need something different, because we are in with this social media age, everything is so saturated. People are copying off of each other and we aren't seeing anything different. So whenever a person comes to the marketplace showing something different, they are going to win, because you automatically stand out from your competition. So whatever you are into, don't try to do what the masses are doing. I need you to go another route, because that's what's going to make you stand out, no matter how weird or uninteresting you think it is. That is your superpower. That is what's going to make you stand out in the marketplace. And people deserve to know how dope you are. You want to be able to build that awareness up. People need to know who you are, what makes you different, why they should follow you, why they should pay you, because you're different in what you offer. They can't get anywhere. So that is an exercise. Write down all your hobbies, write down your interests. How can you combine those things? We could take something that's saturated. We could take a field that's saturated, but take one of your hobbies or your interests into that mainstream thing, and figure out how to create something unique for the marketplace, because it's something they haven't seen before. It's like the iPhone. When the iPhone first came out, it was revolutionary, because we never seen anything like it before. So everyone wanted it. We all had phones, but the iPhone revolutionized the cellular experience. Excuse me. Content currency. If you want to be able to make money from your content, the most important thing that you could do is collect as much data as you can on your potential client. We like to call them customer avatars. This is your ideal client. And you need to write down a list of your customer avatar. Now, what's a customer avatar, you ask? This is an exercise I have for you. Take a sheet of paper and write down your ideal client. You're going to build your ideal client, right? So I want you to write down their name, write down their age range, write down the type of things they're into, write down their spending habits, write down their likes, write down their dislikes, everything that you can think of. You need to know this about your customer. Why do we need to know all of these things about our customers? Because it's going to make it easier for you to be able to find who they are. Because one of the biggest things in making money online is by knowing who to target with your ads. So I don't know if you guys ever tried to create an ad on like Facebook or Instagram, but when you're trying to create an ad, it asks you these specific things. Who are you trying to target? What age range? What type of things are these people into? If you don't know these things, it's going to cost you a lot of money because you're going to be casting out a wide net and you may not catch anything. So when you're creating an ad, you need to know what age range. Maybe 25 to 44. Maybe you're trying to target millennials. Maybe ages 12 to 18. Maybe you want teenagers, but you need to know the age of your customer because you have to know where to find these people. You have to know what type of things they're into. If you were looking for a person who's into basketball because you sell sports apparel, you're not going to go to a dance class with little girls. That's just not where they're going to be at. Maybe some, but that's not where majority of your clientele is going to be. But if you go to a basketball court, if you go inside of a sneaker store, the chances are more higher for you to find your ideal customer avatar. So it's very important for you to know who your customer is. So make sure you write down all of those things so that when you really start to run ads, you know exactly who to target. Like I was saying before, data is king. Facebook, believe it or not, is still one of the most powerful social media sites. Why? That's because billions of people are on Facebook. And what does Facebook need in order for you to get onto their site? They need your name, they need your age, they ask you your birthday. They have sections where, and this is mostly every social media site, but Facebook is a little more intelligent with their data. They ask you what your hobby and interests are. Do you know why they're collecting this information? They're collecting this information because they need to know everything about you. And it's not because they're being nosy, but they need to tell their advertisers, hey, listen, I got this many people ages 25 to 44 who are into basketball. So when these advertisers go to these big companies and they say, hey, we're going to give you $10 million. We want to find people who have interest in basketball, and our product is these basketball shoes, right? Facebook knows everything about the people on their platform because they collected this information. Data is king. You cannot get on any of these social media sites and not tell them your name, your gender, your age, your birthday. And once you sign up for a social media site, it asks you for your interest because they want to know what type of content to put in your face. More importantly, they need to know the type of things that you are interested in so that when advertisers come to Facebook and spend millions of dollars, they need to know that they could get a return on their investment, and that's called an ROI, a return on investment. Sometimes it's a return of interest, whatever it may be. So now let's look at things for your small business, right? If you have data on your customers, you know how old they are, you know what they like, you could sell them anything because you already know what their interests are. But if you just try to sell something to someone and you don't know who would be interested in that, you are losing. So it's very important for you to collect data. So whenever you're trying to sell something, always have their name and their email. And if you can, you could get their phone number. Because let me tell you guys, I've been around some people and I've seen some high level earners who are able to make $100,000 in a couple hours because they'll sell a product through their email list. This is why when you go to stores, they ask you for your email. Everyone is collecting data on you because they want to sell you stuff. That is the world we live in. People want to sell you stuff. So everyone is collecting data. You go to a store, what's your email? Because you know why? They're going to send you a coupon so that you can return to their store and purchase even more. They reward you with the small little percentage off, a little discount so that you could come back and be a loyal customer to them. Imagine having an email list because you collect the data from your customers. You have an email list, and let's say you want to sell something and you have an email list of 1,000 people. And you say, hey, you send out an email blast and say, hey guys, this is the product that I'm selling. I wanted you guys to be the first ones to know about this product. If you act now, I'm going to give you 30% off because we all know people love a discount. People love a sale. Do you know how powerful that is? Being able to go directly to your consumer. You don't always want to have to deal with the third party when you are building your own company. You need to have the data of people. Data is worth more than gold. Data is worth more than gold. I really want you guys to understand where I'm coming from with this because if you have the data on your people, sky is the limit. You could send out an email blast and make thousands of dollars. Even if you make hundreds of dollars, but you have to get good at it. But having an email list because you collected all the data from your customers is so powerful. And it's like writing your own checks. You have 1,000 people email. You have 1,000 people phone number. You can send out an email blast or a text blast. Someone is going to buy from you because they already gave you that information. So now that since a person gave you their information, that means they're a warm client. They're warm now. They feel somewhat comfortable with you. In sales, they say cold calls, cold emails. And what that means is you don't know the person. You've never made contact with them before. Imagine getting an email from a company you never heard of before. You never gave them your email before, and they just email you and they're trying to make you buy something. They're trying to sell you something. You're going to delete that because it's cold. I don't know who you are. I never even said I was interested in this product. How did you get my email? That's invasive. That's how people feel when they don't know you. It's a cold transaction, right? But let's say you go to a store and you buy their products and they ask you for your email and you give them your email. So now when this store emails you, you don't feel some type of way because you shopped with them before or you've been there before and you know that you gave them your email. So now you're more likely to read the email and take interest in what it is they're trying to sell you because all these companies have deals. That's the reason they send you emails because they're trying to sell you again after you leave the store. They're trying to sell you something again. So now you're reading the email and you just may be interested in buying because you're warm. So the reason you want to be able to collect data from your customers or potential customers is so that when you do send out your email blast trying to sell something, they're not automatically sending you to spam. They're not automatically deleting your emails without even reading them. There's so much power in having an email list. There's so much power in having people's telephone numbers because you literally get to write your own check. I hope you guys learned something from this module. Data is king. Whenever you're trying to sell something to a person, make sure you're collecting information, please. That's why when you go on websites, they have a pop-up box and they're offering you an incentive, 10% off. Just enter your name and your email. And we're like, oh, I don't mind giving them my email if I could save 10%. But you have to offer incentives because people don't just want to give up their email. And people definitely don't want to give up their phone number. So the offer has to be even sweeter if you're asking for their phone number, but it's worth it. It's a small investment. You may have to discount the price at first to get the email or to get the phone number. But remember, data is king. Data is gold. You are writing your own checks if you have a person's data. Always collect data. Always know who you're selling to. Let's get to the next module, guys. Do you want to know who makes the most money online? The person who creates the most content. Whoever creates the most content wins. It is simple. And we like to call that consistency. Whoever is the most consistent brand, they will win. Why? You're not giving people a chance to forget you. You are staying on the top of people's mind because every time they get online, every time they scroll, they are seeing your content. You want to be omnipresent. You want to be everywhere. You want to create so much content that people get tired of you. That's right. That people get tired of you. But it's not a bad thing to be everywhere. It's a good thing because most people can't be consistent. Most people don't even know how to stay consistent. But if they could rely on you to always be there eventually, they're going to want to buy something from you. They're going to pay attention to you more because we get on our phones so many times a day. Have you ever gotten on your phone, logged off, and picked your phone up 5 seconds later? Yeah, we all do that because I do that. I will be on my phone scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, and I'll put my phone down because I notice I'm over consuming. And guess what? It's not even 10 seconds later and I'm back on TikTok. I'm back on Instagram because it's addictive. So if people are going to be on their phones and they're going to be consuming all of this content, why not consume your content? Why not get a piece of the pie? There are two types of people. You have consumers, the people who consume the information, the people who are watching the videos, who are reading the articles, and you have producers, the people who are creating the things that the people are consuming. I don't know about you, but I'd much rather be a producer. Cause we're all consumers, right? So here's the thing. Like I'm not talking down on consumers because we all consume. It's inevitable, you know. But everyone's not a producer. Everyone is not a producer. So if you're producing content, now you're getting some of that attention currency. Now people are starting to recognize your brand. Now people are getting used to you. If you produce enough content, people come looking for you because you built up enough consistency that they crave you. At first, they may get tired of you because you're a new thing. They're like, who is this? Who's always on my timeline? I'm tired of seeing this person. But that's okay. That's okay. It is not your business to worry about people getting tired of you. It's your business to stay diligent and consistent. Produce as much content as you can. Produce as much content as you can. I can't stress this enough because attention is currency. This is why we hear the word influencer, because these are people who have figured out the social media game. They figured out how to leverage these free platforms and put content on these platforms. And in return for putting this content on these platforms, they're building a following, right? So now that you're building a following, these people want to support you. How else? I've been watching you online. What's the next step? Do you have merch? I'm such a fan of you. I want to wear what you wear. Do you have a live show? I'm such a fan of you. I want to see you. Do you have other content out? I'm such a fan of you. I want to consume you in a longer format. I want to see you in the movie. I want to read your book. I want to come to your play. Right? Because you're giving them micro doses on social media. They need more because you've been feeding them. So once you feed a person every day, they expect to be fed. And that is your job as a creator, as a brand, to constantly feed your audience. Yes, a lot of people are going to be spectators at first. But if you put out a good enough product, spectators become consumers and they're going to want to pay you. Imagine someone paying you for being you. You. Not a persona, you. You don't want to be fake because people can recognize when you're not being real, and people want to relate to other people. They want people to be relatable. And once a person feels like they can relate to you, oh, you got them. You got them. Treat your content like a 9-to-5. Treat it like a 9-to-5, right? And I know this sounds hard because we are so busy with our lives and trying to make a living, and you may have kids and a spouse and just other responsibilities. But if you want to be able to earn a living or extra income, you have to be serious about it because it's a serious game. I don't know if you guys know, but every social media site pays now. YouTube pays, Instagram pays, TikTok pays, Facebook pays, Pinterest pays. I'm sure LinkedIn will pay soon, even though people don't really look at it as a social media site. It's a professional networking site that will eventually get bigger. But they're figuring it out. So everyone pays. That's the point I'm making, right? So if all of these companies pay, why wouldn't you want a piece of the pie? And guess who gets the bigger chunk of these advertising dollars, right? So I think YouTube, they do like a 55-45 split, I want to say, or 60-40. I'm not sure. But the reason they pay you is because now they don't have to produce content. They don't have to come up with all this original programming because it's going to cost millions and millions of dollars for them to do that. Or they could go to their advertisers and they could do a revenue split with you guys. They're going to pay you to be on their platform because you are bringing other people to their platform. And the longer you could keep people on their platform, the more they are going to reward you. Because the internet is endless. We could be anywhere on the internet, but they want you to be on their site. So, as a reward, if you keep people on there, that's why watch time is measured so greatly. If you keep people on their site for X amount of time, they look at it as this person is interesting because look, people are watching X amount of minutes or X amount of hours of this person's video. They must be important. Let's pay them. Get paid. Get paid. We could do things for free, but let's get some money out of it too, because they're making money off of your content. They're inserting ads into your content. So you should get money too. But in order to get paid off of most of these platforms, they have stipulations and they have certain requirements that you must reach. For instance, YouTube wants you to have 1,000 followers, 4,000 watch hours. Facebook on your fan page, if you have a business page, they want you to have like 10,000 followers. And you're able to get monetized. I'm not sure what it is for Instagram, but it's different for each social media site. But if you're going to be on there producing content anyways, just produce enough content to where you could build up that following, because you have to get people trusting you first. Once the people trust you, they're going to do whatever. They're going to do whatever. They're going to pay you. They're going to reward you with their pockets, with their money, because you become a part of their family almost, because every day they know that they can expect to see you when they open up their phone. When they open up these apps, they're going to see your content. So be undeniable. Be great. A person I like to talk about a lot is Country Wayne. I'm not sure if many of you are familiar with him, but I'm pretty sure you have at least heard of him or seen his videos before. So, quick story about Country Wayne. He was just a guy who had a vision for, just creating online content. And he used to do videos with just the camera in his face. And he got popular just by doing that. Simple stuff. Simple videos, but they were relatable. And he started to build a following, right? So at first they consume, and then they want to become supporters. After Country Wayne built up a decent following, he started getting offers to do live comedy shows. Country Wayne was not a comedian. He was just a guy who made funny, relatable videos online using his cell phone. So now he's doing these live shows. Now he's getting money from Facebook, a nice hefty check, and now he's added live performances to that, right? So then Country Wayne said, you know what? I'm going to expand my universe. I'm going to bring in other people in my skits, because right now it's just me on the phone and I have an audience, but I'm going to bring other people in to make the storylines bigger and better. And once he did that, once he was able to create continuity, meaning storylines with his skits, people fell in love with him. I was watching an interview and he said that once the pandemic hit in 2020, he was on the verge of going broke. He said that he had $13,000 left to his name, and because of the pandemic, everything was shut down And he knew that he would be broke in less than 6 months because he couldn't do shows. But something told him to create that content, to just put out as much content as he can. And what's so amazing is this man went from having his last $13,000 in his pockets with 10 kids to feed to making $7 million in 1 year. I don't think you guys heard me. Country Wayne went from having his last $13,000 in his pocket to making $7 million in 1 year because he produced the most content. This man was dropping 3 to 5 new skits every day. That could be anywhere from 21 to 35 pieces of content per week. And then he gave some more game. He said it's residual income, meaning every time somebody watches one of your videos, a piece of your content, you are getting paid for it. So he would post old videos as well. So now, on top of the 3 to 5 videos a day, he's posting 3 to 5 old videos. So let's say he's putting out 8 to 10 pieces of content a day, 100 different pieces of content a week. And every time somebody clicks on that, he's getting paid. I want to say he said something like he was making 350 to maybe like $500,000 per month. Per month, not a year, per month. Let's just say he said 350. And I'm not trying to pocket watch, but I'm trying to get you guys to understand the power that you could have by putting your content out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Country Wayne makes $350,000 per month putting out skits 3 to 5 minutes. That's all you need, because once you hit the 3-minute mark, they could start inserting ads inside of your content, inside of your videos. And that's how you make money. He figured the game out. You don't have to go figure it out. He already told you what to do. Go create the content. Be consistent, because you win by being consistent. Other people will fall off while you are still going. So guess what? The attention is now all on you. Some of your favorite creators can't produce a bunch of content. But if you're able to produce more content than anyone else, you will win. You will build your brand so fast. People will pay you. Create, write down a list of 50 topics. If you want to start a podcast, write down 50 topics. Write down the guests you want to have. If you want to write books, write down titles. If you want to create a coaching exercise, a coaching program, write down different exercises people could do. Write down different meal plans. It's up to you. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be perfect. People try to be perfect when they're starting, but you don't have to be. I think I literally gave you the best example of not being perfect, and that's Country Wayne. He uses his cell phone to shoot his content. So you could take away the excuse of needing fancy equipment, waiting to stack up. People are like, oh, I'm trying to stack up before I do this. You don't have to stack up. It's all these apps on your phone where you can edit and color correct. You don't need a lot to get started. We all have a cell phone. That's a studio. Your cell phone is a camera, it's sound, it's editing. You can write your books, whatever type of content you are trying to produce, you can do it on your cell phone. I guarantee you there's an app for something. Put out your content. People gonna recognize consistency. Every time you turn your TV on, you are going to see a progressive commercial. You're gonna see flow. Every time you turn your TV on, I'm sorry, every time you turn your TV on, you're gonna see the gecko promoting Geico. You're gonna see that lizard. They're consistent so that when it's time for you to buy insurance, you're automatically thinking Progressive. You're automatically thinking Geico. Why? Because they stay in your face. They're omnipresent. You could be watching a 30-minute TV show and you're probably going to see those commercials at least 3 times because they know the power of staying in your face. So that was this section, guys. We talk about just putting out the most content and being consistent. Consistency is key. Consistency will help you win. Consistency is going to put them coins in your pocket. So let's get to creating. You don't always have to be a consumer. We got to start producing more, guys. We have to start being producers. All right, you guys, let's keep it moving. Next, we want to talk about different streams of income. So I know you guys have heard that every person should have at least 7 streams of income. Now, while I do agree with this, I think there should be a better approach to this. Most people are saying you should have 7 different streams of income. But I believe that you should have that stream of income that you can create different streams from. A lot of people will say, hey, I do hair, I also do makeup, I tutor on the side, I do Amazon, I trade Forex, and they do all these different things, but oftentimes what happens is people are focusing on the fact that they have 7 different streams of income and they never even focused on mastering one stream of income first. So the most important thing I think that you could do is figure out that one thing that you are really, really good at, right? So figure out one thing you're really good at. And now what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to figure out what else can we produce that's similar to those things. So since we're talking about being personal brands and shooting content and creating content for the consumers, there are different things that you could do that's kind of all within the same realm of each other, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take myself for instance, right? So I'm an entertainer. I have a podcast. I'm a filmmaker. I do comedy. I write books. Now, the thing about this is these things can all fall under the same umbrella, right? So I'm going to tell you a little story. One time, I was writing the script. My first love, my passion is filmmaking. I love the art of visual storytelling. So I was writing the script and it was about these 3 girls and they end up in a really bad situation. And what happens is they end up turning into like contract killers, they just fall into the wrong crowd and they end up being contract killers, like these regular everyday girls. And now they're out going on missions and killing people, right? And so um as I'm writing the script, I'm really excited about the thought of turning this into a visual. I was like, this is going to be a short film, and hopefully one day I can expand it into a longer feature length film. Now, what happened is I wrote this script, and I'm not sure if you guys know, but it costs money to produce projects. It costs money to produce these visual projects. So if you're a person into like filmmaking, music videos, it costs. It's not a cheap art. So here I am with this script, several scripts in my computer that I cannot produce because of the cost that's associated with it. I would have to go find a camera person to shoot it. I would need to cast actors. I would need to feed my actors. I got to go find a person to record the sound. I need to find different locations. So it's a lot of moving parts that come with shooting the film. So I'm looking at this script, this incredible script that I have, and I say, I need to tell this story, but I just don't have the funds to tell this story. What's another way that I can get this story out there? So then it came to me, I got the idea to turn my script into a book. So now I take the story, I take the characters, and now I write a book. Okay. Are you guys following me? So I take my script and I turn it into a book. Now, the process of putting out a book is a lot more cheaper and it's a lot quicker than putting out a film. So after I wrote the book, I got it edited. I got a book cover. Voila, the book is ready to be published. So I put it on Amazon. I list it on other sites. And this product, I was able to manifest this physical product because I was able to take that script and now I was able to turn it into a book, which in return I put out into the marketplace. So now I have this book in the marketplace, right? So people start to read the book, they like the book is starting to gain some traction. So now people who have podcasts and stuff, they want to interview me. They want to ask me about my writing process. What's your writing process like? So as I'm talking to these people and telling them my writing process, someone says, "Have you ever thought about teaching other people how to write books and stuff?" Because a lot of people want to write books. Have you ever thought about taking your skills and your expertise and teaching people how they too can write books? So I'm like, nah, I never thought about teaching other people. It's an art that I enjoy. I'm a writer. And so, I never thought about teaching that to someone else. And so I write another book about how to write a book. So if you guys are following me, I'm showing you how you could take the one thing that you are into and you could branch off and turn that into a different stream of income. So now my book is selling, and then I wrote another book about how to write and sell a book. So now I'm teaching people how they too can write books and sell books. And I'm going through the process of what it takes to become an author, and also showing people how they could be a publisher and they could publish other people's books and stuff like that. So now I've created a second stream of income because the book is making money, and now I'm doing a how to guide, and that's teaching people how to be able to create books and become a publisher. So that's the second stream of income, right? And so as I'm writing this book, I get I'm looking at some of the dialogue that's coming from real life situations, right? And once again, like I said, I do comedy as well. So I'm looking at the book I'm writing, and I'm pulling some of the dialogue from real life conversations I've had. And although it's a book about women being contracted killers, there's still some humor in there because I'm naturally a humorous person, a funny person, you know. And so what I do is I take some of the dialogue because of the real life conversations I've had before. Now I have jokes to tell. I'm like, oh my gosh, I never thought like this could be a joke. Like now that I'm reading this, I see how this is funny. So now I take those jokes that came from that dialogue in my book and I turn those into material for stage. So now when I'm performing stand-up comedy, I'm referencing material from material that I've written from my book. So I'm doing shows around town and I'm getting paid to do shows. So now I have a book that I'm getting money from. I wrote a book about how to write a book, and so I'm getting money from that. And by reading my story that I wrote and seeing the comedy content inside of there, I go tell these jokes on stage. And so now I'm getting paid to tell these jokes on stage. So that's another stream of income, right? And so it could get deep, you guys. I want you to feel where I'm coming from and feel what I'm saying. It could get really deep. The one thing that you were into can turn into many different streams. You don't have to like say for instance, with me, you don't have to be a filmmaker then say, oh, but I'm finna go do real estate and then I'm finna go try to become a massage therapist. You're doing too much. You were doing too much. But if that's what you want to do, by all means necessary. But I want you guys to see that there are so many ways to create different streams by the things that you are already doing. Book, a guide. Now I have jokes, right? And so now people are seeing me tell these jokes, right? And they're like, hey, you a writer, your pen game pretty strong. So how would you feel about ghost writing a book for me? How would you feel about ghostwriting some jokes for me? Do you see where I'm coming from? So now I have all these different avenues and different streams to make money with by that one thing. I took my script that I thought I couldn't use, but it ended up being a blessing because now this script turned into a book. And then I was invited to be on a podcast, and they planted the idea of, hey, you should teach people how to write a book. Okay, cool. So let me write a guide on how to write a book. Okay, ooh, look at this stuff you wrote in your book. You can make these into jokes. Now I'm on stage telling jokes. People see me telling jokes. Hey, you're a writer? I may need you to do some writing for me. What's your rate? you know, everything just falls in line when you are operating in your purpose. So there are ways to create multiple streams of income without you having to steer too far off the road of what you're already doing. You could be, let's take it back to the fitness, right? You're a personal trainer. You're not only showing people how to lose weight or gain weight, you have meal guides. You're teaching people how to eat for their body types. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a recipe book. I'm gonna write you a healthy guide to lose weight and maintain your weight. So now you're teaching people how to exercise. You're teaching people, how to eat. And then, you could say, you know what? It's not just about having a healthy body, it's about also having a healthy mind. One thing that I do is meditate. So I'm going to show you guys some meditating techniques. So now you can make money off of that because that could be a book. So it's ways to make money by branching off and doing different things that are still associated to the things that you are already doing. You don't have to think too far outside the box. One thing could be 5, 6, 7 different streams of income, as they say we should have. But even if it's one other stream, you do what you're doing and something else, and it makes you more money. That's cool. Until you're able to build up to however many streams it is that you want to make. That's going to make you feel comfortable with the lifestyle that you're trying to live. You don't have to have 7 streams of income if you don't want to. I think we should all strive to have as many as we would like. But if you don't want to have 7 streams of income, if you can't think of 7 different ways to make income, that's fine. Even if you have 2 or 3, that's cool. So I just wanted to show you guys how you don't have to do so many different things in different fields. You could stay in the one field that you were in and still produce multiple streams of income. You got this. You are on your way to just building your brand up and making money from being you. You're going to be in a completely different place in a year. Less than that. Depending on your consistency, depending on your output, how much you put into this. Content is currency, your brand is currency. And you could create multiple streams by being yourself. Here are 2 types of content that you want to focus on when you are creating for the consumers. If you are a person who likes to teach people, you're always giving information and educational material, make sure that you are providing the most value as possible, right? But although you may be into that information, you want to be able to still entertain people and vice versa. If you are a person who entertains, you also want to have content where you are able to teach people and where you are providing value. You don't want to just give your consumers, your customers, and your clientele one type of content, because what's going to happen is people are going to become bored and your content is going to seem stale. People always start off hot with you. They're always very excited to consume the new information or the entertainment, whatever it is that you are giving them. But if you're constantly giving them the same things, they may burn out from you. They may get all the information or the entertainment that they feel they could get from you and quickly move on to someone else. And to avoid this, we want to make sure we're mixing up the type of content that we are producing. It's okay to entertain. You could every day you could put out a funny video, a witty video, you may be dancing, whatever it is you do, a tutorial, that's fine. But also incorporate different ways of entertaining your audience, because people don't want to just see one thing, because attention spans are short. And if they feel like, I'm tired of seeing this, on to the next person, now you done lost somebody who could have been a lifelong supporter or follower of you because you decided to not switch up your content. And just let's think about some music artists, right? I don't know if you guys know of DaBaby. I'm pretty sure you do. But let's take DaBaby for instance, right? So DaBaby was one of the hottest rappers on the scene when he came out, right? He had a scorching hot 2-year run. And now, guess what's happening? People are turning on DaBaby because they say he sound the same. Give us something different. Every beat sound the same. Your flow is the same. Every album is the same. Come on, like, aren't you versatile enough to give us something new? We are so sick and tired of this. Do you see how quickly people return on you? The baby came out of nowhere and took off. I mean, number one albums, Billboard songs, and just as quickly as he was hot, he got cold because people felt like he wasn't versatile enough. He was giving them the same product over and over and over again. Don't be like that. You know, people are very fickle with their support. People are even more fickle with their money. So, to avoid that, we want to make sure that we are constantly switching things up, finding new ways to give material and content to our consumers because we don't want them to be bored with us. We are here to entertain them. We are here to figure out what our consumers need, and we're going to provide that for them. We don't want other people to get our attention currency. We want to keep all of that attention on ourselves and not fumble the bag, because if the people no longer rock with you, they're not going to spend money with you. And we don't want to lose the bag because we aren't being creative. Be creative with your content. Even if something is working, it's okay to insert new ideas. You are the creator. You build the trends, you set the trends, and you make everyone else follow. Give them what they want, give them what they like, but show them, hey, I think you'll like this too. I'm not going to take away what I'm doing, but instead, I'm also going to add to the collection. We could do this and we could do that. Don't let people know your every move. Don't become predictable with your content. Don't be so predictable. Because guess what people start doing? People start trying to steal your swag. They start trying to steal your sauce because they feel like, oh, if this person doing it, if this is all they do, I could do that. That's how people feel. People are unoriginal. People are copycats. People will see you being successful at what you do and try to do the same thing. And guess what? The consumer don't care. So a lot of times they don't have loyalty. Because when someone new comes on the scene, it's shiny. It's that shiny object syndrome. Oh, this is new and shiny and cute. I think I'm going to go pay attention to this because that over there, what I liked before, is getting dull. Don't become dull. Always, always entertain your audience and give them multiple things to be entertained by. Don't be the person with just one trick. Don't be a one trick pony because the show ends quickly if that's all you could do. So yeah, this section was short. Just want to let you guys know, while you are producing your content, give your audience different things to enjoy. Patience. The last thing I want to talk about is remaining patient through it all. Now, this is the part I understand that people may not want to hear. Everybody wants things instantly. We live in a world where people want things quick, fast, and in a hurry. We don't want to go to restaurants. We want to Uber Eats. We don't want to go to the store. We want Amazon Prime delivery. We don't want to go to the grocery store. We want Instacart. So I understand we are in a world now where we want things with the snap of our finger. But when you're trying to build your brand, and more importantly, when you're trying to earn a living from your brand, it's going to take time. You have to be patient, but understand, if you stay consistent and you are putting out quality content, the people will come. The people will come. As I stated earlier, we are on our phones all day. From the time we wake up until the time we close our eyes, we are on our phones. People are consuming more content more than ever, especially since the pandemic has happened. People are consuming so much content. It's because we have so much time on our hands. People are working from home now. People are working less hours. So we are on our phones. If you put out content that people enjoy, the word will spread. Your name will get out there. But here's one thing I want you to know. You need to find the best platform for your content. Instagram may not be the best platform for you. Facebook may not be the best platform for you. TikTok may not be the best platform for you. YouTube may not be the best platform for you. Figure out where your content resonates the most and dominate that. But although you are dominating on a specific site, I still need you to have presence on all of the sites. But you want to pay special attention to the site that is showing you the most love. But you have to be strategic. Let's say Instagram is showing you the most love, right? But they don't pay the best. The goal is to make money because we don't want to just do things for free, give away our talents and our God-given gifts for free. We want to get paid. We want to get that bag. If the attention is on Instagram, but the money is on YouTube, I need you to put your content where the money's at and eventually drive people to YouTube. And this, however you want to play it, right? I think YouTube is the long run game because they've been around and they've been paying people without fault, Facebook pays, TikTok, oh my gosh, like you have to get so many views for such little money. But here's a caveat to that. That's the number one site right now for organic growth. You could blow up literally overnight on TikTok. And that doesn't happen on any other social media site. People thought that's what Instagram was. It's not that anymore. You could still have meaningful followers and interactions on Instagram, but TikTok introduces you to so many people for free. Free. Keyword is free because all of these social media sites, they want you to pay to boost posts so that you can reach more people. TikTok just gonna put you in front of those people automatically. TikTok has become the number one social media site. TikTok is one of the biggest search engines now. So figure out, it depends on you. It depends on what type of content you have. If you have short, interesting, entertaining content, go on TikTok. If you have long form videos where it's over 10 minutes, go on YouTube. Because on YouTube, they want to really get into your content. They want to sit down and watch and binge it. So put your longer form content on YouTube. If you got something quick, funny, cute little video, quick informational video, TikTok. If you want to really get the bag, YouTube and Facebook. I know a lot of people like Facebook. Yep. Facebook paying that bag. Facebook have all different type of incentive programs now. You could get paid for making reels. You could get paid performance bonuses, meaning if you write a status and it gets a lot of likes and shares, you could get paid. If you go live, people could send you stars, which equates to money. If you post long form videos, they pay you some of the ad revenue. So it's many different ways you can make money on Facebook. People sleep on Facebook and they say, "Oh, it's played out. Nobody gets on Facebook." If you're trying to get that bag, build up your Facebook audience. Get back on Facebook. They handing the money out, but you got to be patient. It's gonna come. It may take time to build things up. Nothing happens overnight. And while you are building, you're learning your brand, you're collecting this data. Like I said, you're collecting this data because you don't want to leave your customers' information, your followers' information, your supporters' information on a social media site. What happens if Facebook, Instagram, TikTok shut down, but you was making sales on these platforms? Say you making good money on these platforms, right? You put out a product or whatever it is that you put out into the marketplace and people are buying from you. But say they kick you off their platform, but you still have this product to sell. How are you going to sell it to people? How are you going to get your products to people if you're kicked off of these social media sites? This is why data is king. This is why you want to have your supporters' information so you could go directly to your consumer. Hey, not on Facebook. Hey, not on Instagram, not on TikTok. Sending you an email to let you know what's going on to me. And for you being such a loyal supporter, you know what? I'm gonna give you 15% off if you buy this, you know? So you wanna have that information like we talked about before. And everything you have to do everything piece by piece. Like what I gave you, this is how you build a brand. It takes time. It takes consistency. It takes information, which is that data. It takes you being unique. That's that list I told you to write. Write down that list of your hobbies and your interests so you know how you're going to stand out in the marketplace, how you're going to be different. What's going to make you special to people? What's going to make people want to open up their wallets to you? Every market is saturated, but it's not saturated with you. Be yourself. Be yourself. And be patient and know that all of this is working out for you. All of this is going to come together for you. People going to be begging you to wear their products. People going to be paying you to promote their stuff because your brand is going to be so big and everybody is going to want a piece of you. Everybody's going to want to pay you. They could go to those other influencers, but they want you because you're unique. You're consistent. You're providing value and entertainment. You're educating people and you're entertaining them on a consistent basis. They may not get it at first, because you the new kid on the scene. Nobody don't care about you. It's like going to high school and being a freshman. Don't nobody care about you. Everybody focusing on the upperclassmen. But guess what eventually happens? One day, you will be the upperclassman. If enough time passes by and you don't drop out, you're going to be an upperclassman. Stay the course. Put the work in. No shortcuts. Be real. Be interesting. Be yourself. Don't try to be nobody else because we already got that person. That person has already put themselves out in the marketplace. We don't need another them. That's like if you rapping, we don't need another Lil. We got Lil. It's so many Lils. Lil Wayne, Lil Baby, Lil Pump, Lil Toothpaste. We don't need no more Lils. It's played out. We already got them. Who are you? If you stay patient and be consistent and put out quality, you're going to win. So I hope you guys got some value from this. My name is Kirby. I teach creators how to create a unique brand so they can stand out in the marketplace. It's not hard, but sometimes we just need a little guidance. Sometimes we just need a little guidance on what to do, figure out what our brand is, figure out what type of products to put out, figure out what type of content to put out, figuring out how we could tweak things so we could be different. I love helping people with these things. Even if I may not do it the best for myself, you know what my dad told me? I was having a conversation with my dad and I told him I'm able to give people the best advice about themselves and their brands, but sometimes I get stuck with my brand. And he said, "You know what? That's because it's your gift. And gifts are meant to be given. So I'm able to do these things for people better than I'm able to do it for myself because it's meant for me to do it for you, do it for others." So, if you want to get more in depth with learning your brand, figuring out products, figuring out how to sell to the marketplace, and figuring out how to create unique, engaging, and fun content, let's get into a coaching session. Let me be your coach. Let me show you how to create a dynamic brand, how to be undeniable. You got this. Like, you are so interesting. And you think you aren't, but you are so interesting. Your tribe is waiting for you. I want to help you find your tribe. Let's find your tribe. Let's build your brand up. Let's start making money off your likeness. Your name is a brand. You are a name brand person. You're a designer. You are a designer. And I'm not talking about like a fashion designer. Like, when I say designer, I mean you're a name brand. Your name is a brand. So, yeah, get out there, you guys. Let's stop making excuses. Let's stop putting things off and wait until next week, next month. Wait until we get our money right. Wait until we got someone else to help us. Wait until we got the equipment. The time is now. The time is now. People are making more money online now than ever. Do not miss it. Don't miss out on this bag because you're being shy. Let's figure out how to turn your content into currency and figure out how to make you a name brand. Thank you for tuning in, guys.